What is a civil engineer? A civil engineer designs and oversees the construction of public works such as roads, bridges, dams, tunnels, building airports, water and sewage systems, and other large infrastructure projects. Building and bridges are often the first structure to come to mind because they are the most obvious engineering creations, but civil engineers are also responsible for less visible creation and contributions. Every time we open a water faucet, we expect water to come out without thinking that civil engineers made it possible. It many cases by designing systems that transport water to cities from mountain sources that are sometimes hundreds of miles away. So, in the podcast of terms of what is a civil engineer, a civil engineer is someone who applies scientific knowledge to improve infrastructure and common utilities that meet basic human needs. What does a civil engineer do? A civil engineer doing calculations on a new bridge project. The field of civil engineering is one of the oldest branches of engineering, dating back to when people first started living in permanent settlements and began shaping their environments to suit their needs. As population grew and larger groups of people began living together in towns and cities, there was an increasing need for reliable sources of clean water, the means to dispose of waste, a network of streets and roadways for commerce and trade, and a way for people to defend themselves against hostile neighbors. Early civil engineers, therefore, were called upon to build walls, roads, bridges, dams, and levees, and to dig wells, irrigation ditches, and trenches. Among the most well-known civil engineering projects to ancient times are the roads of the Roman Empire, the Great Wall of China, the Pyramid of Giza, Stonehenge, the cliff dwelling at Mesa Verde, the Mayan ruins at Copan, Palenque, and Tikal. The construction of many of these wonders by pre-industrial societies remains mysterious, and the names of the engineers who designed them are lost to antiquate. Civil engineering do a lot more than design buildings and bridges. They work in the aerospace industry, designing jetliners and space stations. They can be found in the automotive industry, calculating the load carrying capacity of a chassis and improving the crash resistance of bumpers and doors. They are part of the shipbuilding industry, the power industry, and multiple other industries requiring constructed facilities. Civil engineers is a particularly exciting profession because those that work in this field can see the result of their work: a completely bridge, a rise building, a substation, or a hydroelectric dam. The civil world is extremely diverse. It follows, therefore, the civil engineers have particularly varied career options. This means that the answer to the question, what does a civil engineer do, is also varied depending on the specialty pursued, regardless of their chosen subdiscipline. However, there are some common tasks that most civil engineers will undertake on a daily basis. The specific activities of a civil engineer change from subfield to subfield, and as described below, their career is composite of a wide spectrum of subdisciplines. Architectural engineering. Architecture is the design of buildings and structures with an emphasis on aesthetics. Architectural design engineers combines building design and aesthetic with a focus on sustainable construction and functionality. Construction engineers manage and deliver residential and or construction projects. They plan construction activities, supervise structural elements and platform building inspections upon project completion. They work very closely with architects, architectural engineers, and engineering technicians on building design and on-site problem solving. Earthquake engineering is a specialist field in geotechnical engineering. It is a small niche and provides opportunities in a limited number of countries. susceptible to earthquakes. Earthquake engineers are, of course, concerned with the vibrations in the Earth's crust that can potentially cause immense damage to the Earth's surface. Ecological engineering. Ecology is about the interaction between organisms and their environment called ecosystems. Ecological engineering is a specialized field of environmental engineering that is about the construction and maintenance of these ecosystems. Environmental engineering. The emphasis of this branch of civil engineering is maintaining the quality of air, water, and land through sustainable practice and methods. Environmental engineers create plans to protect and improve the environment, that is, everything created by nature: air, water, flora, and fauna. Fire protection engineering. This is another specialized field of environmental engineering. Fire protection engineering relates to all factors that affect the safety of humans in the event of a fire. Fire safety or fire protection engineers develop plans and identify tactics for reducing smoke and fire damage in houses, commercial buildings, and cities at large. They liaise with architects and builders throughout the design phase of a building and pay particular attention to alarm systems, stairwells, insulation, and ventilation. Geotechnical engineering. Geology comprises the dynamic and physical history of the earth, including rocks, minerals, and elements. It is made of geotechnical engineering is the practical application of geology. Engineers in this field understand construction materials and techniques. Highway engineering is a specialized field within transportation engineering. The discipline considers the design of roads as well as their relation of pedestrians. Highway engineers study traffic volumes and patterns to come up with strategies that prevent collisions and damage to road structures. Hydraulic engineering is another specialized field in environmental engineering. This discipline addresses the technical challenges involved with water infrastructure and sewerage design. It deals with fluid flow in large quantities and focuses on the design of water storage, dams, channels, canals, lakes, and transport facilities. Mining is the act of extracting coal and metal bearing rocks and minerals ore from mines. Mining engineering, a specialized field in geotechnical engineering, deals exclusively with the extraction and procession of ore. Railway engineering is a specialized field in transportation engineering. This discipline is centers on the design, construction, and operation of trains and rail systems to transport people and or freight. Railway engineers apply mechanical design skills and knowledge of propulsion systems to design trains, train vessels. Structural engineering. This engineering sector focuses on the design of structures, houses, buildings, and monuments that are required to withstand loads and environmental elements. Structural engineers collaborate closely with architects. While architects conceive the external design and aesthetics, these engineers design a structural internal skeleton and a foundation to ensure that it does not collapse. Traffic engineering is a subset of transportation engineering. Traffic engineering is concerned with the movement of people and vehicles, usually on roads and highways. Traffic engineers consider, review, and modify aspects of road design to optimize traffic flow and reduce congestion. They also analyze and assesses traffic and accident reports and the impacts of traffic lights, road signs, and pedestrian walkways to ultimately create safer road. Transportation engineering. The focus of transportation engineering is twofold. That is, plan, manage existing transportation systems, and also researches new and emerging technologies aimed at improving transport of people, goods, and structures in industrialized countries. Water resource engineering, the study of water throughout the world, is at the center of water resource engineering. This includes drinking water and any water that must be stored or distributed or transported from the place to another. The following examples of civil engineer projects illustrate the diversity of work that the field offers. A team of researchers from Johns Hopkins University conducted tests to determine how well buildings made of cold formed steel can withstand earthquakes. Engineers at the University of Maryland worked on developing smart bridges that can send out warnings when they are in danger of collapsing. In Los Angeles, civil engineers who are experts in structural monitoring helped Art Conservatory betters preserve the iconic Watts Towers monument. What is the workplace of a civil engineer like? Much of the work that civil engineers do entails detailed in designs and calculations performed in an office environment. This is not to say, however, that these engineers do not get out into the field. They make fairly frequent trips to construction sites, mining sites, or other outdoor sites or to monitor operations, supervise their teams, complete surveying and analysis tasks, solve on-site problems, and collaborate with other professionals involved in their projects. A wide range of positions existing within each industry: mining and drilling, residential construction, commercial construction, urban planning, water and gas infrastructure, sewerage systems, renewable energy, transportation agencies, government agencies. Typical job titles for civil engineers include construction inspector, project engineer, supervising engineer, associate civil engineer, city engineer, field engineer, development engineer.